Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. It's been a minute since I posted some content on here. Been busy, been taking kids to Disney and all that good stuff, so been tied up a bit. So happy to be back on, showing you some cool stuff here. Let's take a look at this run that I used in that short. Let's listen to it first, and I'm gonna break it down and show you what I'm doing on it. Okay, so you'll see I'm just going up a G major scale, basically just hopping positions all the way up. So let me show you the scale first. Show you on the B string and the E string, we're just going to play up a G major scale. That way you can kind of get these fingerings burned into your brain. So once you get these burned in there, I mean, you can just kind of fly over all these stuff. You know exactly where it is. So let's just go up the G major scale first and foremost, just so you know exactly where it is. Using the groupings of 6 notes is going to make it easier for you to switch strings when you're alternate picking. You don't always have to use even notes. This run just happens to have 6 notes, the pattern that I came up with, so it makes it a little bit easier for me when I'm doing fast alternate picking, when I'm switching strings. So let me show you the pattern that I'm using, and then we're just moving that pattern from one position, skipping up to the next one, down to the next one, skipping to the next one, down to the next one, skipping to the next one, and so on up the neck. Okay, those are the 6 notes right there. Then we're going to jump up and repeat that pattern. Hop down to the next position. Hop down. So it's a really cool run, and once you get it under your fingers, you'll be able to start blazing on it. And it's a really cool little lick. Try using some different keys to put this over. Okay, I'm using this G major over D. Okay, so I'm using D mixolydian. Try it over the key of A. Obviously, it will work over the key of G major also. Try it in E minor. There's all kinds of different ways that you can use this. And you don't have to use the whole run. Just kind of, you can break it up. Break it up to where it fits whatever you are playing. If it fits perfectly in there, just use fragments of this. Okay, so the setup I'm using, super simple. I'm using an old Marshall head. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen for you. It's a 2550 from 1988. So it's an old Marshall, but it sounds so good. It sounds just perfect by itself. I've owned this thing for like, geez man, it's been over 25 years I've had this thing. It sounds just as good now as it did back then. So hitting the amp, I'm going into this phase 90. Using this phase 90, you see it's at 9 o'clock setting. A little bit above 9 o'clock is where I'm using it. They say that the EVH setting is right at 9 o'clock, but it sounds to my ears just a little bit better, closer to 10. But super cool pedal, and you can pick these up pretty cheap. I can't remember where I got this one. I've had it for years, but I know I didn't pay a bunch of money for it. From there, I'm going into this rat pedal, and basically you can see it. I'm just using, let's see if I can get this where it's not blurred out. You can see where the distortion, it's barely even on. I got the filter right there, the volume, but super cool pedal. It just punches the front end of that amp just a tad bit, gives it a little oomph. Love using these pedals with that. It's just such a simple setup. So easy to use. You just throw them down on the ground, plug them in, and go. So let's take a look at this guitar. This guitar I built in 1983 with my guitar instructor, Joe LeChue. And we put a Charvel neck, an ESP body. We routed the body here. It's really kind of ugly underneath this, but to fit the Floyd Rose. This is an 83 Floyd Rose. And it all came together well. It was configured with 3 single coils when I got it. But in 1984, 85, so I routed it out because I had to have a humbucker at the time. In the midst of Rat and Kiss and Van Halen and Iron Maiden, all that good stuff. Had to have a humbucker. So I routed out a place with a humbucker in there. Before, at that time, it was a Seymour Duncan Screaming Demon that I had in there. And it was just there. I used one pickup, that was it. Years later, I routed out the neck for this, and I dumped a Bill Lawrence L500 and a Seymour Duncan 59 here in the neck. So basically, once I got an N4, I just love that configuration of pickup so much that I just did the exact same thing on this guitar. Sounds great. I love it. Haven't changed it a bit since then. It rocks. It's a special guitar. It's basically my #1 guitar. I'll never get rid of it. It has a special place with all the years and hours that I put on this thing. I mean, you can see the neck. The neck's just perfectly worn in on both sides. And it's just a rock machine. So take that lick slow, get it under your fingers, use some different configurations. Try and mix it up a little bit, create your own lines from that. It's a super cool, useful lick to get from point A to point B really quick. But it'll also help you with your alternate picking and get your picking clean. Take it slow, build up your tempo from there. Have fun with that. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.